Hello Tubesters, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. Today it's whatever the update is on the Chevy. Let me just get to the box here just so in case anybody hasn't been following. That's what Gav's building. Mine won't look anything like that and it's a different colour. When I say it won't look anything like that, I just mean this is Gav building. You get to put all the weedy things on and the chassis and that's just box of whatever that was just fell on the floor. We'll deal with it later. Right. What's been happening with the Chevy? I won't say a load, but I've got the paint with well, no, let's backtrack. I've got the paint on mostly. That doesn't even sound right, but yeah, I was going to reach over and get some bits or some point. Wait till we see it. Yeah, I've had the colour. I'm using zero paints, and I bought these from Hero Boy or Hero Boy. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it. Beautiful spray. It's already pre-mixed, so you literally, it's advertisers put it through the airbrush and it sprays. And the ones I have, the two colours I've used, really have done what's on the tin or bottle. They've got a little metal agitator in them and all things like that. I just don't like the colour. My choice, nothing to do with zero paints. You know, I must have looked at 101 paints. Why did I choose copper? I thought the copper would probably, and maybe if I'd have sprayed it on a darker primer, it'd probably been a bit darker. But I really haven't liked the colour. Or, you know, just to bog yourself down. It's taken me ages to get the courage to actually get this really stuck together, and I really don't like the colour. I then used, I think it's called Le Mans Black. I'm not going to get them all out. We'll do that right at the very end of when it's all completed, just to recap on everything. But the putting this black over the bronze has resulted in a Coca-Cola finish. It could be worse. I wasn't actually too sure on the black when I'd got the idea of copper black. It wasn't the paint colour. It was just the fact that I made a just in the black way before I even put the copper on. I thought, this isn't really what I'd envisaged it was going to be. But now I've got a Coca-Cola, copper and Coca-Cola. I was almost going to say flavoured truck. It is what it is, as they say. So let's go down to the bench. I'm waffling with you without being able to see anything. So let's get down to the bench and we'll have a look. Right guys, thanks for joining me at the bench. Here is the chassis in its copper glory. Under these bright lights it does have more of a like an orangey glow. I don't know, it actually looks better under the bright lights than it does actually when it's just sat on the shelf, but that's the chassis. I did try and put the wheels on just to see how it all sat, and they just all dropped off. I didn't bother putting any blue tack on them, so let's just hope that fits. I have test fitted a few times the back tub and the front, the engine and the cab on it when it was primered, when it was just plastic and then primered. Obviously, since I've painted it, I've not bothered. Mainly because I didn't want to stuff the paint up before I really had to, because you just know I'm going to end up having to touch all that up. This has got to, I'm going to put black in some of this just to break it all up, but just to really show you really. This has always been just an attempt for me to try and get some seams better done, which I failed abysmally at. I failed abysmally at cleaning up the blooming ejector pin marks. Some of them I thought I'd done all right on, and obviously as we realised when painting I hadn't. Some I'd even neglected to even do. So it's been a bit of a, I've learned bits, but it's not turning into be a joy, if that makes sense, which is a shame, because I like these American pickup trucks. Right, so here's I've still got to do bits to battery, and that just put some colour on the top and that. But that's our, as you can see, we've got all this here. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm just going to probably just clear coat it all up. I can't be spending that much more time on this. Some of the filling I think I've done all right. You won't really, well, no, you won't see it, hopefully. But I've filled in all around these joins here, and they haven't come up too bad. I put the radiator and that and the cover in for the fan, and because I was originally going to leave it copper, so I can't get to that there. So I've blacked it out, but you hopefully won't see that when the engine's in. There's a couple of little marks. I'll put the bonnet on. Here we go. There she looks with the bonnet with our Coca-Cola finish to it. You can see here on the very front, I thought I'd done a better job than that, and it's all pretty crap really, but oh well, as I say, it is a learning curve. I'm not, although I sound like I'm beating myself up, I'm not. It's all a learning curve on this one. So that's all I've got to show you on that bit. Let's just put it to one side. And then we've got our rear tub. It's the only things I've got really painted. Again, you see my masking. First time I've masked anything really, so I suppose it could be worse. And I'll put some German field grey on that just to make those leather. I'm reddening these up slowly. I've done a whole red wash on top of the old wood Vallejo, brush painted that on, and I'm thinking of putting a bit more red into it. We've just started there last night, so that needs another coat yet, and then the reddening processing washes. Went under there. That was a job trying to mask all that, but it was all learning. That's what I was trying to do, learn how to mask things out. But I've managed to get smudges in the paint where it's got through the, I mean, look at that, you can see the black up the top there. I'm not going to try and try and work out that with some copper colour stuff. I thought this did fairly good. That was fairly straight down there. That's not perfect, but again, it's got like an angle to it, and for a first time, again, I've managed to get a little smudge there, which is annoying. But I thought for a first time, I didn't think that was too bad. This is the more, obviously, the worst bit around. I mean, that was probably slightly better. But you can see here, where I just could not get those seams to go where they join. It was such an awkward angle. I did the best I could. So we've got a bit of, thought I'd tape this up really well as well. I'd use the very thin Tamiya tape to put down the insides, and then the thicker tape on this, but I've still managed to get bits. Again, it's a learning process, but that's what that's going to be. And then there's no point me showing you the inside of the door cards and that, but I'm going to paint those in a bit by brush. And these I'm blacking out the wheels. I'd actually bought some, it was like a very soft greeny gold metallic, and I was going to spray those that colour, but it just wouldn't have worked with this. I thought the copper was a lot darker than it is, and it just wouldn't look right, so I've actually ended up spraying the wheels black. As you can see, I think it's still going to need another few coats on top of that yet. This one hasn't come up too bad. And that's in that Le Mans black. I've got enough still to give those another spray over. Let's just see. Like the floor pan, that's going to be in this, well, it's already got like a, I suppose they'd call that a rubberized, I don't know, but I was thinking of putting this, it's a I haven't got it with me, it's a texture paint, supposed to give it light for seats. I think it's more for racing car seats and that than anything, but I although they've got their I think they've actually got something on the website about it, but on the bottle it just gives you the standard, as it does with all their other bottles, you know, the PSI you can spray them on, and it's just a standard label. But I've only got a 0.2 airbrush, and I just don't think trying to spray texture paint through it is going to work. I think I'm just on a hiding for nothing. So I'm going to attempt to put that on with a brush. Yeah, I know it's lacquer paint, I presume, but I'm going to try and just put that on these. Have we got them here? There's a door card there. Just to make it a leather look, I wanted to put this in. I wanted to put it on this inside here, and on here, just to break up all this copper. I mean, it was my intention to do it in the first place, but that's what I'd hoped to do. So, oh, and the other thing, the tailgate, it's all sprayed copper as well, but I wanted it to, we'll call it Coca-Cola now, in the back. And I'd forgotten completely to do it, so that's going to need to be done, just so it's black as well. But yeah, you know, I mean, it is what it is. As I say, we've got a smudge there, and as I say, that was coming through from the start, and you know, the black hasn't made it any better, which I'd hoped it might have smoothed out, but it hasn't. That was coming through from I sprayed copper obviously on it first. I've got another small blooming smudge there I hadn't noticed. But I just think, you know, how much do I keep working at it as a first kit? Well, first car. So I think I'm going to cut my losses. I'm not going to rush it, but I'll put the tailgate. I'll put the black on the tailgate. Spray a couple more coats over the wheels. Do the inside interior. And then let's start putting it together. And then I believe when it's all put together, I don't think I'll lacquer it now, do I? I've got a lacquer clear coat to go over it, but I think I do that when it's all done, I believe. And I've got some polishing tins of polish you can use, modelling polish, and we'll just see how that goes. It's a shame about the smudges. That's annoyed me more. Yeah, you know, the roughness on there, but it was never, unless I was really lucky and really talented, it was never going to be, you know, singing and dancing. It's a first attempt, and it is a learning. I kept on saying it's a learning one, but I just would have hoped, for the effort I put in with the masking, I really thought I'd masked it okay. Obviously not. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by and taking a look. I hope everything's going well with your projects, and we will catch each other very, very soon on another video. Cheers.